Modern football is known as one of the harshest sports for young talent. Many teenagers naturally thrive throughout their youth before attracting scouts, major clubs and media attention. A fork in the road is formed. One route is to success with goals, clean sheets and trophies, while the other traps the prodigy, surrounding them with money, fame and spotlight at the long-term expense of sporting greatness. As much as raw talent is a needed boost, the driving force is persistent hard work. Antonio Cassano was born into pre-gentrification Bari the day after Italy won the 1982 World Cup. Abandonment by his father left he and his mother in a deprived lifestyle. The young boy spent his time playing street football in the tough neighbourhood San Nicola of the Bari Vecchia district. The 15-year-old's obvious talent attracted AS Bari, and through scouting, Cassano earned a place in their youth setup, where he continued to impress. Within 2 years, he debuted in the Serie A against local rivals Lecce just before the turn of the century. Still somewhat unknown, spotlight shone on the 17-year-old in the dying moments of Igaletti's contest with league juggernaut Inter Milan. This winner established the teen as one of the nation's most exciting future stars, and he later said that if it wasn't for the Intergame or the attention he gained, he would have turned to a life of crime to support his family. Cassano bled raw talent, and his creative flair enthralled audiences, while generating nicknames such as Fantantonio and El Pibe de Bari, meaning the kid from Bari. His short stature and smaller frame led to generous comparisons to Diego Maradona. Overall, he netted a total of 6 goals in 48 games across 2 seasons in his hometown. By this time, he had already been a part of the Italy under-15s, 16s, 18s, 20s and 21 squads, scoring 4 times in 21 matches. Reigning league winners Roma won the race for Cassano, with a shockingly pricey fee equivalent to €30 million, making the youngster the most expensive teenager ever, later broken by the transfer of Wayne Rooney to Manchester United. His debut season in the nation's capital greeted Capello, Totti and co. to both the gifted sportsman and the contentious character. Their Supercoppa Italiana triumph was followed by a public argument with Capello, who had excluded him from a practice match. Cassano improved upon his first Roman year by making 17 goal contributions in 43 appearances throughout the 2002-2003 season, as well as claiming a second Serie A Young Footballer of the Year award. But again, his hot-headed nature caused issue. The forward saw red after aggressively protesting the referee's decision. In rage, he sparked controversy by directing the sign of the devil horns at the official to imply cuckoldry. On the international front, the jewel from Old Bari scored in his Italian debut, losing to Poland in November 2003. Giovanni Trapattoni included him in the Euro 2004 squad as a reserve, although when Totti was suspended for spitting against Denmark, Cassano was selected to start versus Sweden. His opening goal earned the Azzurri a vital point in Porto, yet they fell short to the Scandinavian sides and saw a shocking group stage exit. 2 goals, an assist and a Man of the Match award wasn't bad for his initial international tournament. La Lupa concluded the season as runners-up, but financial constraints forced Capello out, in favour of Juventus, which weakened Roma. This caused a turbulent 2004-05 season, during which Cassano was omitted from the first team by Luigi Del Neri, the club's third manager in a month. The new boss couldn't ignore his off-field shenanigans and scary temperament, but Cassano, when given a chance, would often contribute to the side, netting a brace against Fiorentina and reliably scoring consolations. As internal fighting became regular, Giallorossi fell further down the table and were eliminated at the group stage in Europe, where they salvaged but one measly point in 6 fixtures. Consequently, Del Neri quit, and club legend Bruno Conti took charge. Fantantonio had the trust of Conti, and was reinstated to the starting lineup with the skipper's armband while Totti endured a 5-match ban. From here, things turned sour. Cassano fell out with everyone at the club, including his dynamic strike partner. They had appeared on a TV show, and Cassano's grievances arose because of the fee they received. Also, the hothead was locked in a battle with the club over the renewal of his contract. Faced with losing him as a free agent in the summer of 2006, they cut their losses and offloaded him to Real Madrid in January for a meagre €5 million. Though a fantastic talent, who performed well in the Eternal City, the €25 million deficit the club lost on Cassano in 5 years certified him as a Roman flop. The 23-year-old joined as only the second ever Italian to sign for Los Blancos, and was in Galactico surroundings. Florentino Perez gave him his debut off the bench against Real Betis on the 18th of January, and he impressed, netting within 3 minutes of his second half appearance. Old habits die hard though, and after just 4 months, Real were exposed to his true nature. At this age, most players were on a path to their prime, but instead of learning from his elite level teammates, Cassano ramped up his playboy lifestyle and spiralled out of control. Gaining weight, partying, and disrespecting staff. The forward had initially shredded down before piling on the pounds again. Nutella was a sponsor of Madrid, who sent 5 kilos of the chocolate every month, which combined with overeating pastries and late night drinking to become problematic. These issues multiplied when Capello was reunited with the troublesome attacker at the start of the 2006-07 season as Juan Ramon Lopez Caro's managerial replacement. Marcello Lippi ignored him when selecting his World Cup side as a result of his unimpressive season. A bittersweet summer for the striker followed as the Azzurri went on to become world champions, another experience that should have humbled and grounded Cassano, but instead fueled his temper. In spite of this, Cassano's confidence was high following his 2 goals in 2 games at the campaign's launch. However, his humiliating half-time substitution in the Champions League angered the Italian, who instigated a dressing room row with Capello. In October, the club publicly announced his suspension as punishment for disrespecting the manager, sinking Cassano into a slump of depression. Self-admittedly, he overindulged, eating Nutella directly from the tub, and in 7 months he gained £30, which Real tried to control by fining him for every gram he stayed over his playing weight. He became known as El Gordito, or the Little Fatty. It was also around this time that the 25-year-old claimed to have slept with somewhere between 600 and 700 women in his life. The charismatic delinquent was caught on camera mockingly impersonating Capello, to the entertainment of Ronaldo and Cannavaro, but not Madrid's management. However, the straw that broke the camel's back was a different feud at Tarragona. Capello ordered he and Ronaldo to warm up at the start of the second 45, a warm-up that lasted the entire half, with neither seeing any game time. Curses were hurled by a fuming Cassano before famously stating that the blunt boss was more fake than Monopoly money, an outburst that cost him further exclusion from the starting 11. From these incidents, Capello coined the term Cassanata, which translates to doing a Cassano. Patience for covering up these quarrels had faded, and on a Roman radio station, Cassano stated that he'd walk back to Rome and rejoin Giallorossi, if Madrid allowed him to. Los Blancos held on to him though, to see out their 2006-07 league-winning season, in which Cassano only featured 7 times due to an ankle injury. The inevitable came in July. The club president Ramon Calderon described his attitude as unsustainable in the last couple of months, and said they planned for him to leave Madrid. The city of Genoa was the next to meet Cassano, as Sampdoria took him on loan in August, handing him the number 99 shirt, which he requested because Ronaldo sported it at the time for Milan. Fitness levels returned to normal, and his behaviour improved with form, scoring in 3 successive games in the new year of 2008. Cassano controversy came in March, when retaliating to being sent off by throwing his shirt at the referee, for which he faced a €15,000 fine and a 5-game ban. Nonetheless, owner of Blu Giacchiati, Ricardo Garrone, decided to acquire him permanently on a free transfer, as Cassano had emerged as a key figure whose 15 goals boosted the side from 9th spot to 6th in the Serie A, guaranteeing them European football. His improved conduct earned him the vice-captain position. The club's New Year acquisition of Gianpaolo Bazzini gave Cassano a chance to form a fruitful attacking partnership that would later be compared to that of Vialli and Mancini from the 90s. This brought false hope, as Sampdoria dropped to their lowest Serie A finish since 1999, though the vice-captain deserved no blame, being directly involved in 26 goals throughout the campaign.
Can he go all the way to turn the game around? It does!
Misery compounded when Cassano missed the opening penalty in the Coppa Italia final shootout, leading to a 6-5 Lazio victory. Del Neri benched the forward for technical and tactical reasons during a losing spell, and rumours sparked about a winter transfer to Fiorentina. Cassano's refusal to leave eventually eased him back into the starting lineup, and he helped the side achieve a 4th place finish, which got them a Champions League qualifying spot for the first time ever. Disappointingly, the side fell short to Werder Bremen and relegated them to the Europa League. Del Neri departed Genoa, to the detriment of the side, who plummeted during their 2010-11 journey. Cassano added fuel to the fire when he refused to attend an October awards presentation night, and after 3 comparative years of bliss, things turned sour. Club president Ricardo Garrone immediately banned him from the first team and sought to have his contract terminated for gross misconduct, but a tribunal decided that his pay should be halved instead. Though this league arbitration tribunal ordered Sampdoria to return Cassano to the first squad in the new year of 2011, the relationship between the Italian and the owner was irreparable. League leaders AC Milan offered a way out, signing him for €3 million. The Rossinieri posed strong competition for Cassano, with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Robinho and Alexandra Pato available, thus his game time was reduced. Levity came in May, when Max Allegri's side won its 18th Scudetto and Cassano's first, proving that his decision to move to the fashion capital paid off, while Sampdoria were relegated to Serie B. Soon after their Supercoppa success, the Rossinieri travelled to Rome for an October League match, where a shocking life-threatening moment stunned the side. Following their 3-2 triumph over Roma, Cassano began to feel uneasy on the team bus and struggled to speak coherently. He was hospitalised and later diagnosed with an ischemic stroke caused by high blood pressure and cholesterol levels. 4 days later, he underwent surgery and recovered from the sideline. Almost 6 months after the incident, Cassano returned to the San Siro, applauded by the 58,000 in attendance. The fear of dying and the overwhelming loving support from peers seemed to cultivate the hunger to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Full fitness returned, and a deserving call-up from Cesare Prandelli brought the Bari native to Poland for Euro 2012, where he featured in all the Azzurri's fixtures, netted a goal and forged an alliance with the equally divisive Mario Balotelli. Italy progressed to the final, where they again met Spain, but the world champions embarrassed Prandelli's team, putting 4 past Buffon to lift their first ever European championship. The 29-year-old returned to the headlines for controversial comments made in a press conference, stating that he hopes there are no homosexual players in the national squad. A subsequent apology explained that he had been misunderstood. Still, he was fined 15 grand by UEFA. Back in Milan, everything crumbled after the club announced the transfers of Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva, triggering Cassano's request to also leave the club. Berlusconi obliged and arranged for the forward's move to Intercity rivals Inter Milan. His time at Inter, however, proved short and bitter due to the team's struggles in form, which led to arguments between Cassano and manager Andrea Stramaccioni. Parma welcomed him in the summer of 2013, a year prior to his contract expiration. With him, Cassano brought the best he had to offer, training hard, keeping an appropriate physique, and avoiding controversy. He even shed 10 kilograms through his new regimen, achieved in his own words by reducing his focaccia binges to once a week. After claiming his 100th Serie A goal, he rediscovered top form and inspired Parma to 6th in the table, the highest finish in a decade, which eased them back into Europe. During his second year in Parma, the club battled some major financial strains, which had cost the players their full wages for the best part of the year. In January, Cassano's contract was terminated, while the business collapsed and faced bankruptcy. He rejoined Sampdoria for a year until their president excluded him from the first team after stating that he wasn't in their plans. The 34-year-old trained with the youth team before fully parting ways in January 2017 as a free agent. Hellas Verona offered the final chance for Cassano in the summer, but staying consistent with his past, a quarrel followed. Ensuing a couple of friendlies, he announced his sudden retirement from the sport as he felt too distant from his family. Confusingly, within a day he publicly reversed his decision, which opposed his wife Carolina's social media statement. Apologies to Verona and their supporters preceded a mutual contract termination before he had even played an official game for the side. Later, Cassano explained his actions by saying he sensed no spark with Verona, unsurprisingly comparing the feeling to that of when a woman you're seeing no longer attracts you. Since the new manager of the Azzurri, Antonio Conte, confirmed that the forward wouldn't feature in his side, Antonio Cassano was done with football, and he retired in the summer of 2017. Easily considerable in the conversation for most notorious and difficult character of his generation in the sport, the jewel of Old Bari failed to always sparkle as he had in his younger years. Making more foes than friends across 8 clubs in 18 years, and tumbling at most hurdles, it was clear the elite standards of Madrid and the Milan clubs were ultimately obstacles to his excellence when they should have elevated him to the best in the world. From the rags of a broken home and ghetto street football to unimaginable riches, the biggest challenge of his career was neither Capello nor Garrone, but overcoming his head. His wild temperament, poor discipline, and issue with authority led to weight gain, inconsistent playing time, and fighting. Thought of as possibly Roberto Baggio's heir, he isn't the only player who surrendered to the decadence of celebrity, and he will not be the last. Young stardom from humble beginnings fed his ego, and cost Fantantonio a career of excellence as a leading figure for his generation.